What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is Labor Day. Hope you guys are off, enjoying your day off. We have 6 days to go until week 1 kicks off on the Sunday main slate. 12 gamer to get us started for week 1. I'm super excited that football is back. If you guys are interested in getting the full picks, early slate, main slate, afternoon for Sundays, and then all the showdowns, you can visit the website, dfsprocess.net. Link is in the description as well. If you guys enjoy the content, appreciate the like button, subscribe. We'll have videos all season long. Posted the early look about 10 days ago, so I wanted to kind of give you guys a more refined look at some of the core plays that I like on Draftkings. We'll cover Fanduel briefly at the end. A lot of the players that I talk about I like on Fanduel as well, unless their pricing is just much different. In some regards, it is. Let's get started at the quarterback position. I'm not going to run through everything like I did in that first video, but if you look at the top end, you have Jaden Daniels at home. McLaurin got that extension. He's happy. He'll be there. So he's a good play at 7K. He's going to be a great play in most weeks unless it's a really tough matchup. Other guys I like are Baker Mayfield, 66. If you're looking at Vegas totals, that game is one of the ones that you can target, at least from a team total. They have 24.5 point total, which is one of the higher ones on this slate. Bengals have the most. The Commanders are second right now at about 26. You can kind of group some of these into the similar range bucket. But Baker, we know what a career year he had last season, throwing for 43 touchdowns. He did have 16 picks, but they were so aggressive throwing that, he still had an amazing season. He ran 400 yards as well. I think he's going to in line for another good year just with all the weapons that he has. They brought in Emeka Egbuka to pair with Evans, and then Godwin once he's back, and Bucky Irving, a beast in the backfield. So 66 for Baker. I like him in that range. Looking at 6K and below, CJ Stroud, you compare him easily with Nico Collins. That'll be a great stack all season. And then you have Bryce Young at 57. Michael Penix, these two guys I like in that $5,500 to $5,900 range. And if you want to go below 5K, you have Joe Flacco at 49. So I'm still sticking with Bryce Young at 57. I think, Flacco is a good play at 49 if you need that value. But I like Bryce Young because I know I want to stack him with a guy that we'll get to at receiver. At running back, Bijan is 8K. He's probably the most expensive back every week, unless McCaffrey just has a resurgence a couple years ago. But, Bijan, fine spot. That game is, my favorite one to stack on both sides. You kind of have a concentrated, you kind of know where the fantasy points are going. On the Falcons side, it's going to Bijan, it's going to Drake London. Maybe it'll go to Kyle Pitts. We'll see if Mooney is back or not. He did practice, which is a good sign. There was thought that he might miss a couple weeks, but there's a chance he'll be back for week 1. And then on the Tampa side, it's going to mostly be Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, kind of getting a lot of the targets and a lot of the fantasy point potential there. I still like Bucky at 71, like the savings. You have Genti, 7K, also could be a pivot. I think a lot of people will go to Bucky, so Genti makes sense if you were trying to get to a lower-owned player. And then I'm looking to get to another running back in that 6K range. Chase Brown, a workhorse, going up against Cleveland. You're getting a guy that's penciled in for 20-plus touches, most likely. Potential to get even more than that. He's a 3-down back, so that's always exciting on DraftKings with the PPR format. And he's a guy that's Burrow, and that offense is always cooking. Always gives you touchdown upside. So I think in the first look I did have Chuba Hubbard there, but I think I found some savings. We can get to Chase Brown at 66 for 600 more. It doesn't mean I don't like Chuba. Still think Hubbard's a great play against Jacksonville. That's also another team that I like and another game that I like on both sides. Just because some of the players that you would want to target are so cheap, and we know Carolina is dealing with a lot of injuries at receiver. They traded away Thielen, and then they put Coker on IR, so they're pretty thin at receiver. So maybe Hubbard gets worked in more as a pass catcher. But he's still a fine play. I think 65 for Kyren, just another guy that's a 3-down back, is a good play. Pollard, if they had a little bit of a higher total, it might be more exciting. But he's going to be the main factor out of the backfield with Spears on IR. He's going to miss some time. Ford is 56. There's potential that Samson and him are going to split work. So if I was going to go down, let's see what the price tag is on Samson. He's 49. I mean, Ford would probably be my preferred option, but I don't know if I want to get to him at 56. You have Trayvon Henderson, 55. Chubb probably get the start at 52. And then if he was going down, it'd still be that 4K for Ja'Cory Merritt from the Commanders. He's 4K flat. He'll be the cheapest running back that I think warrants that attention and warrants some of that ownership. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt at 4K. At wide receiver, I'm still going to be looking to get to Jamar Chase just because I can afford it. 81 going up against Cleveland. Burrow and him. What a season that Chase had last season. Absolutely unreal. He gives you slate-breaking upside. You won't be shocked if he goes for 200 yards or has multiple touchdowns with like 10 catches. So especially against Cleveland's defense, at 81, he's the top wide receiver on the slate. It's not to say that somebody can't outscore him. Like I would say Nico Collins is another good pivot away from Chase if you don't want to pay that price tag. But Jamar Chase is the guy that I want to get to. Mid 6K has a lot of strong options. You can take some savings and go to T. Higgins at 64. But Drake London is probably my favorite, followed by Mike Evans and then Jamar Chase. Garrett Wilson's kind of getting forgotten about. He's sliding in some drafts. Fields, we'll see what that connection is, but in tournaments, I like him. Now we got Bryce Young, so we're going to pair him with $5,200 McMillan. He's good price tag. I mean, he has a questionable tag on him, but he should be good to go. He practiced on Tuesday. They lost Coker for a few games. Thielen is gone, so they're very thin. They brought in Hunter Renfrow. So that's just going to make McMillan's targets look even better, I think. His prospects look even more appealing, especially in week 1. So at 52, for sure, I love that price tag on McMillan. And then I think Emeka Egbuka at 46 is also like my favorite value pick. Now that we know Godwin is not going to be ready until they'll probably be careful with him. Until Godwin comes back, we know McMillan unfortunately got that brutal injury, so he's going to miss most of the season. Egbuka, Mike Evans, they're going to be the top 2 weapons for Baker in week 1 and probably for a couple weeks until Godwin is back. Against Atlanta's defense in the Dome, that game has shootout potential. I like those 2 rookies in week 1 until their price tag kind of catches up to them. That's why they're cheap right now. They're still a little bit of an unknown, but I think both look good in camp. Both had good outlooks in preseason. Both are super talented, and they're going to be factors in their offense. So those are 6 guys I really like. You can fill it out with like a 6K, mid 6K receiver. London looks good, especially if Mooney misses. I thought Mooney would for sure miss, but there's a chance he can come back, so that hurts him a little bit, but I think he's still a safe bet to get you double-digit targets. And then, obviously, Mike Evans, you can double stack him and Egbuka, but we already got 2 Tampa Bay Bucks there with Irving and Egbuka. We could do a bring back with an Atlanta side, so that's why London looks good, Mooney, or do a little bit different and get to Kyle Pitts at 43 at tight end. Tight end wise, I'm looking at Kyle Pitts, Warren here at 44. Tyler Warren looked great, and they don't really have any other tight ends to compete with Warren, so hopefully him and Daniel Jones have some sort of connection. They did have a good preseason couple games. They did miss him on a touchdown in one of the games. Kittle at 58, especially with just not having Ayuk for the first 6 weeks. Kittle is going to get more targets, and they lost Deebo Samuel. He's now a Commander, so definitely Kittle's going to have a lot of upside. He can get up to McBride there at 62. And if you're looking for some value savings at tight end, Chigakongwu at 34. I like Brenton Strange a lot at 33 just for some safety with no more Evan Ingram there. And then defense-wise, you can go down here in below $2,500. Maybe the Saints, just with Kyler can be somewhat turnover. Maybe the Texans if Matt Stafford's back isn't fully healed, and there's some concerns with him for to make it through the season. Jets against Steelers, I like that defense. And if you want to pay up more, like you could definitely do the Steelers. Fields, we know, a bit of a turnover. It can be turnover machine at times. And that's it. I don't see myself getting up to anybody above 35 at defense, but if you wanted to, the Broncos look good just because they're going to get some pressure on Tennessee. I think Tennessee has a potential to be a good team. I mean, their offense, a few weeks, but just with the rookie quarterback going on the road to Denver week 1, this is a tough spot for Tennessee. And Cam Ward is talented, but as most rookies have, is some growing pains. So I don't think Ward is going to be able to just kind of ignore some of that. But those are the guys I like on DraftKings to help you fill out a lineup. On FanDuel, I got some similar picks here with Irving is there, Emeka Buka. I like those price tags. I mean, Irving's a little bit more expensive on FanDuel, but I still like him more than Josh Jacobs and James Conner and Kyron and Alvin. And then Gentry, his price is just super cheap. DraftKings has him and Irving separated by only $100, and FanDuel you get $1,300 savings. You also have Pollard at $6K, who makes sense because of Spears with that price tag. And then if you wanted to go down, you still got Ja'Cory Merritt at that cheap price tag on FanDuel. At QB, I went with Michael Penix just because he's, on DraftKings, there's him and Bryce Young are similarly priced, but on FanDuel, Young is, I think he's like $1,000 more expensive, or definitely more of a gap there. So Penix is $67. He's super affordable. Actually, they're similar price on FanDuel. He's only $68. So I can get to Michael Penix or Bryce Young, but I went with Penix on FanDuel because I know I'm going to try to get to Drake London, so I wanted to stack those two together. Jamar Chase is 92. I still think he's a great play. You have a little bit more of a gap between him and some like the second tier options on FanDuel, but I still really like him. Nico Collins and Drake London are the two that I got to in this build. And then Emeka Buka at $5K, still my favorite value receiver on both sites. I think Marvin Harrison's going to have a great season, a really good year 2. So he makes sense. Maybe not the best spot, but I still like him. McMillan at 56. You can get to him. Again, price tag is good. He's going to get a ton of targets, especially with the injury bug that they are dealing with. And then just trading away Thielen. At tight end, on FanDuel, they have Kittle more expensive than McBride, so maybe you go McBride instead. Njoku's always a good value. Always has some upside. I'm going to say it's a great value at 57, but he makes sense. I like Pitts to get to a little bit different if there is no Mooney. And for the values, same kind of options. I think we can get to Strange at $5K. Or just get up to Tyler Warren for $100 more. Maybe gives you more of that, maybe a little bit more upside. I mean, Strange does have upside on his own, but Warren probably be a little bit maybe less owned just because he's a rookie making his debut. Defense, Jets are a good option if you're looking more savings. Potentially going to like either the Raiders against Drake May. Maybe a little bit appealing, not the most appealing, but he's still at 32. You're just kind of punting at defense. I'll probably say the Jets at 36. They stand out the most. Maybe get up to New England at 39. But we do have Gentry here, so I'm not looking to get to a defense against one of my weapons. Mostly, I'm just looking at some defenses that are cheap that can going up against quarterbacks that maybe are a little bit of an unknown new system, some growing pains, and then just looking at some like teams with low totals. But that's what I got on both sites for this week 1 slate. I will have a showdown video out at some point for that Thursday night game. But best of luck to everybody for week 1. Hope you guys crush it. Like I said, you can check out the website if you're interested. Link is in the description. And I will catch you all next time.